It is one of the holiest and most contested places on earth. The Al-Aqsa Mosque, a center of Islam for 1,300 years. 2 billion Muslims believe Muhammad ascended to heaven from here, making this the third holiest site in Islam. And Muslims in Jerusalem say it's under siege from Jewish extremists backed by the current Israeli government who want to destroy the mosque and build a temple in its place. They're supported by many evangelical Christians who believe in a prophecy that once the Jewish temple is built here, Jesus will return and bring the end of days.
But over here, as we can see, is the mountain of God. The mountain of God known as Zion.
Yehuda Glick is one of the leaders of the temple movement, pressing for more Jewish rights at Al-Aqsa. I joined a group he was leading of mostly Christian tourists up to the mosque. To get there, we climb a ramp that goes over the Western Wall, the holiest site for Jews. They're still not allowed to openly pray inside the mosque complex, which Jews call the Temple Mount.
Unfortunately, we cannot sing. Jews are allowed to sing, Muslims are allowed to sing. Unfortunately, tourists are not yet allowed to sing. One of our major battles is to change that situation.
For Muslims, this isn't tourism. It's a provocation and a religious takeover.
That's the Al-Aqsa right over there.
The Israeli government used to worry about upsetting centuries of a religious status quo and potentially sparking a global religious war. Violence has flared here before, when Israeli politicians and settlers have stormed the Al-Aqsa Compound. Today, Israeli police maintain a heavy presence.
So we read the prophecy of Zechariah.
For Glick and his tour group, this is a walk through prophecy and scripture.
Sing and rejoice, O daughter of Zion, for behold, I will come and dwell in your midst.
The group imagines what this compound would be like without the mosques, but with a Jewish temple here instead.
Miracle signs and wonders. Miracle signs and wonders. Miracle signs and wonders.
Sydney Galbraith is a tourist from Canada. She describes herself as a Christian Zionist and a true believer.
And what do you think should happen to the Muslim sites that are here, the Dome of the Rock, the Al-Aqsa Mosque?
You know, I think the Lord is going to do something so unusual that our minds can't conceive. If He were to tell us, we wouldn't understand. But we know that this is His land, and we're going to watch Him push them out. He's going to totally drive them out, because this is the place where He has, this is my land.
Drive out the Muslims.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you want that to happen?
Yes. Yeah. This is the Lord. This is our place.
But those are biblical prophecies. What about in practical terms? What about the Muslims who live here and who come here every day?
Maybe they're gonna go to another place. I don't know.
We will speak up for Zion's sake.
It's not the first trip here for Jerry Bowers from Texas.
You're a pastor.
Yeah.
Why did you come here today? Why is it important for you to be in this spot?
It's important to be in Israel itself in order to support this nation during time of war. And because we believe as Christians that this is going to be the eternal gathering place for all Christians at the end of time.
Who do you think should control this spot? Do you think it should no longer be controlled by Muslim authorities? Do you think this should be controlled, run, dominated by the State of Israel?
I believe that, because there's going to be more freedom here if it's administrated by the State of Israel.
The Al-Aqsa Mosque and the Golden Dome of the Rock are among the most recognizable symbols of Jerusalem. The Dome of the Rock stands over the rock where, according to religious texts, God is said to have spared Abraham's son Isaac from his father's knife. Jews, Christians, and Muslims all tell the same story with some variations. 3,000 years ago, the same rock is believed to have been at the center of the first Jewish temple, built during the reign of King Solomon the Wise. It was destroyed by the Babylonians in 587 BC and rebuilt by Jews after their return from exile decades later, only to be destroyed again by the Roman Empire, which crushed a Jewish revolt in 70 AD. The Jewish Western, or Wailing Wall, is the best preserved piece of the Second Temple complex still remaining, and it is the holiest place in Judaism. When Muslims conquered Jerusalem in the 8th century, they built the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and it has been under Muslim control ever since. But some Jews and Christians believe God has a plan to build a third temple, the final temple before Armageddon.
Synagogue.
Glick insists his intentions are peaceful.
In the past, they told us if Jews would pray here, it's going to bring a third world war. It's not. Here we are.
Changes are happening quickly. We pass other tour groups like Glick's and a group of religious Jews who, despite the strict prohibition against prayer, prostrate on the ground, protected by Israeli police.
Unbelievable, because in the years that I was here in the battle, if anyone dared to prostrate, we would be immediately arrested. But here now, the policemen allow them to prostrate over here.
Jewish groups increasingly wave Israeli flags inside Al-Aqsa as well. The office of Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he maintains a policy of supporting the status quo, prohibiting Jewish prayer at the site. Members of his government, including Justice Minister Itamar Ben-Gvir, openly defy the policy, frequently visiting Al-Aqsa and bringing Jewish settlers to pray. It's all being watched by Muslims across the Islamic world who consider the site to be fundamental to their identity. Just outside Al-Aqsa, I met researcher and analyst Mazen Jabari. He can trace his family's history here over 600 years. How important is this place to Palestinians and Muslims around the world?
Yeah, me as a Palestinian, as I told you, living here, very close to this place, okay? I feel that this place is part of what I am. As a human, this is part of me, not just as a, religion.
How explosive is the situation here? How sensitive is this place?
It is very sensitive and very dangerous. You are playing with fire when you want to change, the situation inside, and realities. It means that you want, to bring more war.
The Jordanian organization that manages the religious affairs of Al-Aqsa, called the Jerusalem Waqf, told us the frequent storming of the mosque by settlers has become a systematic policy supported by the Israeli authorities, adding that it implies an attempt at long-term settlement and imposing a new reality on the ground. The encroachment on Al-Aqsa is part of a larger pattern of occupation of Palestinian spaces. In the old city of Jerusalem alone, Palestinian families are increasingly displaced from their homes. Israeli flags hang from apartments taken over by settlers. In West Jerusalem, I spoke to Aviv Tatarsky, a researcher with the Israeli organization Ir Amin, which documents conflict in Jerusalem. He's been following the Third Temple movement for years.
Do you think it's going to happen? They're already building mock-ups and models of the Third Temple.
Right.
So are they actively trying to make this happen?
It's very clear that these temple movements are working towards the specific goal of rebuilding the Third Temple. And as you said, they are doing all the preparations. Normally, 10 years ago, I would tell you this is a joke. They do what they do. Everyone understands that they're dangerous, that they're crazy. No one serious, no one in the Israeli government is going to let them do it. Today we are in a completely different situation. Today they are in the government, in the heart of the government. So yeah, they are working towards it. And as security deteriorates, this gives Israel more and more excuses to change things on the Al-Aqsa compound.
At the end of the tour, I wondered if Glick will get his way. He is determined. In 2014, he was shot 4 times by a Palestinian gunman after speaking at a conference on the Temple Mount movement. He shows no signs of slowing down.
Do you think your movement is winning, is gaining traction?
Yeah, look, when I started 40 years ago, we had only maybe 100 Jews who ascended annually. Today we had 70,000.
70,000 per year.
Jews, millions of tourists, and the numbers have grown, and the numbers are growing, and more. And what's interesting is, when we were so few, it was full of violence. The more we see more and more people coming, peace and quiet.
What happens here has implications far beyond Jerusalem. In this place where prophecy, faith, politics, identity, and control all come together in an explosive mix. Richard Engel, NBC News, Jerusalem.
We thank you for watching, and remember, stay updated on breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or watch live on our YouTube channel.